The shapes option in PowerPoint has tons and tons of presets, but those aren't always going to give you exactly what you want. So fortunately, you can actually create your own custom closed shapes. So if, for example, you take the freeform tool, you can click this tool, and we know already that you can just click at points to make straight lines join up, and you can drag around. But notice that also, if you then click exactly on the point that you began from, like that, PowerPoint actually joins up those 2 points and you get a closed shape, which you can now format in precisely the same way that you would format any other closed shape, which is extremely useful. So the freeform tool is one way to work, and that's going to be very useful if, for example, you want to create something like a wacky character. Let's say a wacky kind of A character. You could sort of go up there, and we could create this kind of A and then finish it off like that. And you can see that if you don't get it exact, it's not going to accept it the first time. So you want to be pretty precise about clicking on that last one. You can also use this feature with the curve option. So if you are creating a curved shape, I'm clicking and then dragging, and I'll click again, and so I'll start to get a curve. And I can now, for example, click down here, and I can get my curve to come all the way around. And if I now click up here and come right back to where I started, you see that PowerPoint again is going to close off that curve. You can now also do something like you can go to the Format tab, and I can click Edit Shape and Edit Points. And I still get all the same options to edit these points, but I'm dealing with a closed shape instead of just a straight curve. So you can now pretty much change this into anything that you want. So I could move some of these around, I could change the way that they're curving. And so this could be a really great way of creating any custom shape that you need. So for just one out of millions of possible practical ways you could use this, you could go Insert and choose Shape, and you have some preset shapes here for arrows. But they're all kind of boring. We just get this kind of perfectly even triangular shaped arrow. So if you wanted a more wacky kind of arrow shape, you could just choose the freeform tool, and you could just draw like a wacky kind of arrow shape like this, and then join them up. And say, for example, you wanted these arrow pieces to kind of have a bit of a curve. You can now just go Format and click Edit Shape and click Edit Points. So we saw how you can go over a point to get this icon, and then you can move it. And you'll also notice that when you select a point like this, you get these 2 little white handles that we saw. So I can now click one of these handles and sort of drag it in and make this part of my arrow a nice kind of curved shape. I can do the same thing there. And I can click this and sort of drag this curve to make it nice and even, etc., etc. This is the kind of thing that will take a little bit of practice. So you could, for example, move this back a bit and then create a curve there, etc., etc. So it might take a little bit of practice, but basically these options mean that you can, in addition to the presets that come with PowerPoint, create absolutely any kind of shape that you can imagine.